What's up, guys? Here with another edition of Spool Bananas. Today we are going to be doing our top 10 movies of the year, a couple bust, and a few that almost made our top 10. Got Steven in here with me,
Hello.
and so that's what we're going to be doing for you guys today.
Top 10 movies of 2019. You want to start off with your honorable mentions?
Yeah, we can. So,
I have three.
okay,
3 honorable mentions. In the Tall Grass.
trash.
You seen it?
Nope. So, disclaimer, I do not watch scary movies. I hate scary movies.
Yes, he is a pussy.
Do not want anything to do with it.
And that is my favorite genre by far. I can watch any horror movie.
Don't come
and
to
I love
me
it.
with your scary movie needs. It's not gonna happen for me. And so go ahead with your.
In the Tall Grass, that'd be my number 13. It's fantastic. Patrick Wilson, incredibly underrated actor. Just a scary, good Netflix movie. Stephen King vibes. You should check it out. My number 12, my honorable mention, would be Isn't It Romantic? Which is the oddest movie on here that I would pick. It's, I just don't even want to tell you anything about it. Just watch it. You'll probably like it. And then Velvet Buzzsaw. Seen that one?
Have not.
That is the most... It has no genre. At one point, it's a horror movie. At one point, it's a hipster drama about art. And one moment, it's about like mental illness and stuff. It is one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. Those are my honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions would be, I guess, number 13, Murder Mystery with Adam Sandler in it, and it's like a mystery movie, and I love mystery movies, and so it was really good. Kind of cheesy, but kind of that cheesy Adam Sandler movie, but I thought it was really good. My 12 would be The King on Netflix.
Never saw that one.
It's really good. You should check it out. It's one of those, I will say, it's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of a slow burn movie, but it just shows you what, like, those people had to go through back then. And then number 11 would be Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil on Netflix with
Zac Efron?
Zac Efron.
Never watched it.
The Ted Bundy movie. And so it was good. I don't know if it was right there at the top 10 level, but I thought it was, when I was researching these movies, I thought that one stuck out to me, so I had to put that in there as an honorable mention.
Well, we basically did a top 13 list. But
yeah. Those are just
in there.
honorable mention movies
Yeah.
that could have been other movies, but those are the 3 that just stuck out to me at the time when I was looking. And so we'll go ahead and get right into it.
I have one movie that I know would have been on my top 10. It probably would have been my number 1. Is Dr. Sleep. But nobody I know wanted to see this movie. A sequel to The Shining. I'm not seeing that movie by myself in theaters. That's not happening. I'd probably be the only one in the theater. But that would have been, I can almost promise, that would have been in my top 5.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and hit us with your number 10.
My number 10 is a comedy, Between Two Ferns the movie.
This is Between Two Ferns with
Zach Galifianakis. His internet show that's been wildly popular.
Hilarious.
10-minute clips at best, just him insulting celebrities. Well, you get a full 2 hours of it.
The one with Hillary Clinton might be the funniest thing
ever. All of it. This movie, Will Ferrell, he's been just mailing it in for a couple movies. No, Will Ferrell's one of the funniest people alive. One of the funniest people alive. So is Zach Galifianakis. Everyone in this movie is good. And they make a story out of it where it's obviously completely fictional, but he still plays himself. And like they reference The Hangover and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's just so good. It's so funny. And you actually care about the journey at the end. You actually want him to succeed. That's my 10.
Yeah. So my number 10 would be Good Boys. It's a comedy movie. So this movie, it's they don't really, in my opinion, make a lot of comedy movies anymore. It's like
comedy's dead.
Yeah, you don't really get what we used to get whenever people were making like The Hangover and Wedding Crashers.
All these Seth Rogen movies, Will Ferrell movies. Yeah.
And so this was basically a younger version of Superbad. And so
how young are these kids in that movie?
They're probably in the 9 to 11 range, maybe. I'm not good with aging young children. And so, yeah, they weren't old. And it was really funny comedy. Had some adult humor in it that they didn't understand in the movie because they're kids, but it made everyone else laugh. And it may not be a top 10 movie of the year, but in my opinion, you don't get many good comedies, and I thought it was just a really good comedy movie that.
It's not even really the best, just our favorite movies.
Yeah. And so that just seems to be a dying brand, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is the Netflix Martin Scorsese film, The Irishman. All 77 hours of it, it seems like.
You have that as number 9?
That is my number 9.
It's awful low.
It is my number 9. Well, I had to almost watch it like a TV show. I had to take breaks.
Yeah, it is long.
We tried to watch it at night one time.
We did.
It hit like 11:30 or got to like midnight. I was like, we still have 3 hours left.
Yeah,
this is way too long.
It's a very long.
But I watched it in chunks. Found a good stopping point. It's basically 3 separate movies.
It almost is.
Robert De Niro's life leading up to the mob, his life in the mob for a little bit, and then Jimmy Hoffa and his story.
Yeah.
And everyone in the movie's fantastic.
It is. All the actors are great. Joe Pesci.
Yeah. Sure, we'll talk about it even later. I'm assuming it's a lot higher on your list.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a lot higher, but it is higher on my list.
It is. Martin Scorsese's just back on top. Dude's gonna be around forever. So good.
Yeah.
Hard Goodfellas vibes. Really good.
For my number 9, I have The Highwaymen. It's on Netflix.
Didn't see it.
Steven, what are you doing?
Didn't see it.
Yeah, so it's on Netflix. Anybody can really watch it. It has Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson in it. And to me, I really liked it. 1, I love history. 2, we're from the area where Bonnie and Clyde were killed. And so that's where that movie's filmed, and where that took place is about 20-25 minutes from my house. And so maybe I was just a little connected to it more than other people. But great acting, Kevin Costner, Woody Harrelson.
That movie's about Bonnie and Clyde?
Yep.
Had no idea.
Woody Harrelson's a G. I love Woody Harrelson. Seems like
Who
everything he does.
Yeah, who doesn't love Woody
He's a
Harrelson?
crazy dude, but the dude's a hell of a good actor. And overall, just a really good movie. Great acting all around.
My number 8 is Knives Out. I liked it a lot more than you, I feel like. It's not on your list.
It was good. It was a good movie. Is it top 10 worthy? And it may be because we watched it in a terrible theater.
We did watch it in a very shitty theater.
And so that
Shout out to Regal.
Yeah. And so that may be why it didn't make my list. I love a murder mystery.
Yeah. I love it because it was so untraditional. It always kept you guessing.
Yeah.
You cared about the characters. That's how a movie gets you. If you actually care what happens to these people. The main girl in it, you do not want her to go to jail. And I didn't know when the killer is revealed, when they actually revealed that there is a killer to be revealed, it surprised me. I did not see that coming. I thought it was a great movie all the way through. It should be higher now. The more I think about it, I want to put it at 1.
No.
But it's at number 8.
No. It was a very good movie. If y'all hadn't seen it, y'all really need to check it out. The acting is great in it. And there's such a wide variety of characters in this
So
movie.
many actors,
Yeah.
A-listers after A-listers.
Yeah.
You recognize everyone in the cast. I love that movie.
It was very good. Okay.
And it was our boy Ryan Johnson getting out of director's jail from how he murdered Star Wars. Just
Nope.
left it dead in a ditch with The Last Jedi. He comes back, his next movie. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And so, number 8 on my list is Fractured with Sam Worthington.
Didn't see it.
Steven, bro! You know we do a movie podcast, right? You know you're supposed to watch movies.
You're right. We just started.
It is a thriller, mystery, perfect, very dark, my kind of show / movie. I love everything about those. And he plays it to perfection. The whole time you're like believing this guy, and you're like, what the hell is happening? And basically in the end you get the result. What?
Can't spoil the movie now.
I'm not
Okay.
spoiling it.
All right.
You get the result, but I'll just stop there. You need to go watch it. It's a very good movie. Sam Worthington does a hell of a job. He's really the main character in it. There's a lot of side characters, but the movie's based around him, and I guess you could say his family. But yeah, that cracks the list at number 8 for me. What you guys number 7, Steven?
I have Triple Frontier.
Yeah.
This movie, even if you don't like military movies, which I'm a guy, so of course I'm going to love military movies, this movie makes you want to enlist tomorrow. World War III, let's go. I want to be a part of it. This movie is so good, and it's I cried in. I cried in this movie. A movie about military guys made me cry.
Yeah, it is. It is a very.
Ben
good
Affleck's
movie.
best performance of his career.
I don't know. Argo. It's so good. I was like, wait a minute. Why is that on my list when that movie came out 15 years ago?
Or coming like 2011 or something. But it was so good.
It was very good.
Every actor in it. Old boy from Sons of Anarchy.
Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam.
So good.
So good. He needs to be in more stuff.
Our
Oscar
buddy.
Isaac.
We told our buddy about
Oscar
this.
Isaac.
We told our buddy about this movie, and he called us. He's like, "Dude, why are they so bad?" I was
He
like,
said he went to sleep. The movie wasn't good.
Are you stupid? It was great.
I deleted his contact information.
That movie's on my list as well. I have it a little higher than what Steven had it at 7. My number 7 movie is The Dirt on Netflix. I feel like I have a lot of Netflix movies here.
I don't think I've heard of this movie.
With their portraying Motley Crue, and
I got like 5 minutes in and turned it off. I didn't give it a real shot.
It's really good. It's a crazy ass movie. It's showing the life that these guys lived on the road and how crazy they were, getting kicked out of hotels, doing heroin, what it seemed like their garden hoses.
Lifestyle.
And and it's a great movie. There's a scene where Ozzy Osbourne's like snorting ants and piss on the ground, and just
Who's the main guy from Motley Crue?
Nikki Sixx.
I'm talking about
Or is he the drummer?
No, who's the drummer? Is David Pamela Anderson?
That may be Nikki Sixx.
No, that's not him.
Yeah, I think Nikki Sixx was the drummer. I know Nikki Sixx was the singer.
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee was the drummer. Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's a whole nother movie.
Yeah.
That'd definitely be in the top 10.
Yeah, so The Dirt on Netflix, you gotta check it out. It's really, if you're into that kind of thing, Bohemian Rhapsody, all those kind of movies that basically show
biopic about musicians.
Yeah, it was really good. It's a little wild. Don't watch it with your parents around. So
yeah, I'm sure.
So what did you have at number 6, Steve?
I had the Adam Sandler instant classic, Uncut Gems. Our second ever podcast, which is kind of bad. But this movie, you think about it all the time. It's so different. Is it not?
6?
Have it at 6, yeah.
Dude, it was way better than 6.
I know when reviewing it, I was like, this is maybe the best movie I've ever seen. But when I was making this list, I was like, I can't put these other 5 ahead of Uncut Gems.
I have that way higher on my list. It's not 1, but it's high.
Oh, in any other year, it could definitely have been on 1.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
It was a great year for movies.
If it's not in everyone's top 10, well, then they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's a very good movie. At my number 6, this is where I place The Irishman. Yeah, so we've already talked about it.
We're not too far off, 9 to 6.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. And for 10 movies out of the whole year, I mean, for those both to be in there, it just shows how good the movie actually is. Great acting. Like we said, Pesci, all those guys.
Joe Pesci, unretiring from acting to be in this movie.
Yeah,
I should tell you how good it is.
Hit it out the park, too. So, what'd you have at 5?
My 5 is the biggest movie on this list, I would assume, Avengers Endgame.
That is also my number 5.
It's the same? Yeah. There we go. High five.
That's what I'm talking about.
Same one. It is full of plot holes. 1 billion of them. 2 billion plot holes. But I turned my brain off. I watched the movie. I loved it. Cried at the end. Spoiler alert. It's a happy ending.
Yeah.
It's for Captain America, at least. One of my favorite characters. It was so good.
It was very good, and I mean, just you talk about going all out in a movie. I mean, what was the budget, like $20 billion for this movie?
I'm sure, and it made all the money. There's no money left. It all goes to them. And
it is.
Anyone that hates on comic movies, just watch this movie. There's no way you can't like it. This is 28 movies in.
Yeah, it is so.
I would recommend seeing at least 20 of
those. The only one that I have not seen is Captain Marvel. I didn't watch Captain Marvel.
It's alright. I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
I didn't binge through those because I don't have 2 years of my life. But this movie was so good.
If you think about where this franchise started, like Iron Man,
when we were in 6th grade.
It's like 2008 or whatever it was. It's like how far they've come. And to be able to keep the characters all together, besides Iron Man's partner in the first movie.
That was just from a contract dispute.
Yeah, but keeping all
the
those
actors. And you introduce new actors.
Yeah.
You're so invested in these characters, and it's just I could talk about this movie for 3 hours. It's so good.
Yeah, that's how long the movie is. So
Yeah, it is a 3 hour
it
movie.
is a long movie.
Had to piss through it. I was like, nope, not getting up.
Yeah, so that is where 5 is also where I have the Avengers. So Steve, we can go ahead and back to you for number 4.
My number 4 is another comic book movie, a little smaller, Joker.
4? Are you kidding me?
I have it at 4.
Oh man.
I just love how this movie, this is the most anti-PC movie I've ever seen. I could not believe it was made. Especially the ending. No spoilers, but there's a certain problem like, this movie actually got greenlit to make. Yeah. I cannot believe.
There was a big uproar about the ending because, one, it could like promote psychos
Yes.
doing that kind of thing. But this is such a PC culture that we live in. It is. I was surprised it got made, but I'm not upset about it. I'm here for it. I wish they would make more. That was like the perfect movie in my opinion.
It is the first comic book movie where they make the villain the main character, and it's actually a good movie.
Yeah.
They made a Batman universe movie without Batman in it. Well, Bruce Wayne's in it, but not Batman. And it was so good. It's one of the best DC movies for sure.
Oh, it is. Besides the Batman trilogy, I would say this is the best DC movie. DC sucks in my opinion. I hate DC.
This is getting them to redo their universe after how good this movie was.
Yeah, it is.
They're coming out with a sequel.
It is
a
so
Joker 2.
Good.
This
so
movie,
good.
it really. I don't know if it's better than Heath Ledger's Joker. It's so different.
Yeah, I was about to say I loved Heath Ledger's Joker. I thought it would never be topped. But these are two different style Jokers, and so that's what makes the movie so great. You're not getting that just psychotic lives for uproar Joker that you saw in the trilogy. This one is so different. It's like
so different. It's just a broken man.
Yes,
and you feel bad for him.
Exactly, and this could
and
actually
you don't
happen.
know. Like they leave so much stuff in the air. You don't know about his past. You don't know. Is he wrong about his father? If he's right about his father, you don't know any of this stuff. You don't know if his mom's crazy or not. Like, you just know that this dude is batshit insane.
Yeah.
And you feel sorry for him. And he's a good dude, though.
Oh,
you want him to be helped. You want him to, like,
but by the end of your movie, you're like, I love the chaos.
Yeah.
I love
Reminds me a lot of Taxi Driver.
I didn't get through that movie. It was, like, so old. You know those old movies just, like...
Yeah. But it's a lot of influences like that. Just
yeah.
This movie's fantastic. I can't wait for the sequel. Joaquin Phoenix. Haven't paid attention to the Oscar stuff. I'm sure we will, but no one else should be up for Best Actor. Yes. Yes. Talking about comedy being dead, he said, "I'm gonna go to drama."
Oh,
and this movie was funny.
Yeah, that's
the legit dark comedy. Very dark comedy.
When the guy's up there on the comedy stage, it makes you cringe in your seat.
Yes.
Like, it was just so.
And the stand-up comedy though in this was actually funny.
Yeah,
I remember it. I've been like, this is some solid stand-up comedy.
It was overall just a great movie.
Yeah, I can't believe I have it at 4.
Yeah, I can't believe you do either.
What's your 4?
My 4 is Triple Frontier. I thought it was great. I love military movies. Love the military. Everything about it. Even though they're kind of off the books in this movie, not with the military, it's still.
Which is a good twist.
Yeah, still a military background, and so.
We didn't do a good job explaining what the movie is about, but.
Yeah, basically they go in and take over
group
like
of
drug
buddies.
lords.
Yeah, former black ops, I'm assuming.
Yeah, something like that.
They figure out where this drug kingpin is keeping all his money. They're like, we're taking it, and we're talking.
We're not going to spoil the movie. We're not going to spoil the movie.
I'm saying I'm just giving you the plot. I'm not spoiling it, but I'm talking millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah, and then you just see tons of character development once you get to the
it's
main
so
part of the
intense.
movie. It's an intense movie. And it is, like, if you're a crier in movies, this movie will make you cry. Like, it's a...
Which I am. I'm a crier.
In action, drama, it has it all. That's why I have it rated so high for me. Yeah, so, Steve, your number 3?
My number 3. My 1, 2, and 3, when I was making this list, I was like, I don't know what to do. They're all almost equal in my opinion. But number 3, I decided, I've been trying to get you to watch this since it came out. Midsommar. I don't do scary. You remember Hereditary?
You made me watch it.
And you enjoyed it, correct?
This
movie is not even. I wouldn't consider it a horror movie. I don't think there's nighttime in the movie once. It's just so uncomfortable. It's about these group of college kids who they befriend a foreign exchange student, and he invites them to go back to his family's festival. Like it's pretty much a cult movie. and they go back to this festival, and oh my God, does shenanigans ensue in this foreign country. There's drug trips, there's murders, there is the biggest asshole. You remember the kid from We're the Millers? We Were the Millers?
Mm-hmm.
This dude in this movie plays the biggest asshole character I've ever seen, but you want him on the screen nonstop.
You kind of making me want to watch it right now.
It is.
And I don't even like scary movies.
It's so good. I wouldn't even consider it a scary movie. You just, when you're watching it, you're just like, I want this movie to end. Like it's very uncomfortable in a good way. There's moments where you're like...
Would you say it's more of a thriller than a horror?
I don't know what... I would just say it's batshit crazy movie.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, that should be the genre just to itself, is Midsommar. It is... I can't remember who told me to watch it, but I watched it, and it's fantastic. I would redbox it tonight. Especially if cults freak you out.
Oh, I love cult movies.
This is the cult movie of all cult movies.
Yeah. I do like that kind of stuff. I don't like being stuff like real jumpy.
This movie makes you not want to travel. This movie probably hurts Sweden's tourism industry. This movie is fucking wild, and they go for it. The director for Hereditary, you've seen him like how he was already like kind of stylistic in that. He had no one telling him what to do in this movie, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's A24, same people that made Uncut Gems.
They're
on a roll.
Yeah, they've had a couple good ones. And so we'll go to my number 3 here, and people are gonna hate it.
Wait, promise you're gonna watch Midsommar.
I will. I will watch it, and then we could even do a review on it maybe. Okay. So people are gonna hate this pick. People are gonna love this pick. Our millions of fans are gonna be like 500,000 of them are gonna be a great pick. 500,000 are gonna be like terrible pick. At number 3, I have Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. It concluded the non-trilogy, I guess you could say. The non-trilogy. It was, in my opinion, a great movie. You got to see action. You got to see love. You got to see everything come to an end. It was everything I needed for the end of a franchise. It was, and I know there were mixed reviews about it, but huge Star Wars fan, and
this would even be in my top 20.
Well, that's because you're 21. You're a hater. It was, in my opinion,
it could have been so much better.
I'm not saying I'm not going there. I'm saying for what it was, it was really good, and I enjoyed it, and that's why it made number 3 on my list. And I'm biased, so it probably could be my number 10, but I'm putting it as my number 3 to big fuck you, Steven.
All right. My number 2 is Yesterday. It's another movie you haven't seen.
I haven't.
This is the happiest movie ever made. It has the happiest. It's just so good. I could watch this movie every day for a month. It's about, especially if you like the Beatles.
Is this on Netflix?
No, it's Redbox.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about, the Indian kid.
Yes, the Indian man.
Even
Indian. That might be racist. I don't know. He's some foreign country, England or something like that. But he is this former teacher who is an aspiring, struggling singer-songwriter. And one day he gets in a car accident, and when he wakes up from the hospital, no one remembers about the Beatles. They've never existed. But he remembers all their songs. So he's like, hey, I could actually do my career out of this. What do you know? He blows up, and you just follow his journey becoming famous. Singing all these Beatles songs.
Don't tell how it ends.
I'm not telling you how it ends, but it is a great love story. It is a great movie. And Ed Sheeran, shout out to Ed Sheeran. He's a character in it, playing himself. Solid actor.
Is he?
Solid actor. The girl from the remake of Ghostbusters and Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
Usually don't like her. This is the first thing I saw her in. She can act. She's a good actor. Everyone in this movie. Actress. Excuse me. Everyone in this movie is great. Go watch Yesterday. Trust me. Even if you don't like the Beatles, you'll like this movie. It's another movie that made me cry this year. It's so good.
All right. For my number 2, we've already talked about it. Uncut Gems. Adam Sandler. Love the movie.
I thought you'd have it at 1.
Well, I got.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Okay. So Uncut Gems number 2 for me. We've already talked about it, but just so different of a movie. There's nothing you can really compare it to. It's by A24 again, the people who produced it. Adam Sandler, phenomenal in it. He's just a hell of an actor. Acts his ass off in this movie. Everybody in the movie was good. We already did a podcast about it, and so if you want to hear more about it, go listen to that. It's my number 2
It's
movie of the
so,
year.
how intense the ending is.
Yes,
And the fact that they get you to root for a guy that isn't straight asshole.
Yep.
Scum of scum, and you're rooting for him so hard. That should just tell you how good the movie is.
If you hadn't
Deserves
seen
to be
it,
number 2.
just know you need to go watch it. Once you watch it, go check out our podcast talking about it. It's an intense movie. So for what you have for number 1,
Number
Steve?
1, the cream of the crop. That's the expression, right? Here
Yeah.
we go. The best is El Camino.
Boo!
The Breaking Bad.
Boo!
No. The fact that I'm hoping it's your number 1 is what I'm hoping. I doubt it will be. El Camino. If you liked Breaking Bad,
I love Breaking Bad.
who doesn't love Breaking Bad? Best show ever. This movie, El Camino, was so good. I rewatched all of Breaking Bad. Then I rewatched El Camino. Breaking Bad's the best series of all time. El Camino, it's definitely number 1. Best movie of the year, by far. 100%. You care about Jesse Pinkman so much.
Yeah.
And you're rooting for him in this movie so hard. They did an entire character from Breaking Bad, just made it a whole movie. It's the best TV movie ever made. I don't understand how anyone could not like this.
No, it was a good movie. I wouldn't say it's top 10 for me.
Have you ever rooted for someone to have a happy ending more than Jesse Pinkman?
No, I haven't.
Never.
Okay, but here's the thing for me. Vince Gilligan is a very, I would say, slow burn kind of guy.
But it's great slow burn.
It is good, but to me, it was not.
It felt like an episode of Breaking Bad.
It did. It felt like a really long episode of Breaking Bad that ended the way you kind of want it to end, I guess. And so, I don't know. We're not gonna spoil it, but yeah, it was a damn.
Of course, there's some stuff that could have been better, but it's also realistic. Just watch it. El Camino, Aaron Paul. I say everyone deserves an Oscar. Give this man an Oscar for Breaking Bad, for everything. Every character of Breaking Bad.
What about his Need for Speed movie?
Need for Speed.
Does he need an Oscar for that one too?
I'll give him an Oscar for anything he's ever done because how great this movie was. It's my number 1. Fuck you, Mr. Andrew. You know it's the best. The fact that it's not in your top 10 is ridiculous.
It's not.
What did you have at 10?
My 10 was Good Boys.
Good Boys. Throw that nonsense out of there, and you put El Camino in.
Yeah, it didn't even crack my almost top 10. It didn't.
You're just a sadist, dog.
All right, my number 1, greatest movie of the year. We've already talked about it. The Joker. Or Joker.
Number 1.
It is number 1. That is phenomenal acting. The dude's crazy. You love him. You hate him. You want him to fail. You want him to succeed. You want him. It is just a whirlwind of emotions in the movie. I mean, De Niro's in it. It's a good cast. Everybody's good. It is just an amazing movie.
A little long.
But it was worth it.
It was really
Todd
good.
Phillips, excellent job directing the movie. It is phenomenal.
It's weird having a movie where there's no one to root against.
Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix, is that how you pronounce his name? Joaquin?
Joaquin? No, it's Joaquin Phoenix. It's not his real name.
I was going to cut that. We're going to leave that in there.
Joaquin?
Yeah.
Joaquin?
Yo, Joaquin. Yo, man, you hell of a movie, dog.
It's like a Key and Peele pronunciation.
Anyway, he was phenomenal in it.
He's great in everything.
It is so good. He wasn't, I wouldn't say great in everything. Her.
He was great in it. Doesn't mean a movie has to be great.
Yeah, terrible movie. Anyway.
Wasn't that bad.
So,
It's the future.
Yeah, it was an awesome movie, and that is why I have it as my number 1. So that rounds about our top 10
I'll do a
list.
quick recap of it.
Yeah, just go ahead and give us your top
My
10.
10, Between Two Ferns. Number 9, The Irishman. Number 8, Knives Out. 7, Triple Frontier. 6, Uncut Gems. 5, Avengers Endgame. 4, Joker. 3, Midsommar. 2, Yesterday. And number 1, El Camino.
Yeah, for my top 10, it really is a good list, Steven. I mean, those are all quality movies. I couldn't argue. I would say I may not would have the horror movies in there, but that's just me. But overall, I would say solid list, and I would watch any of those movies any day of the week. My top 10, number 10, I have Good Boys. 9, The Highwaymen. 8, Fractured. 7, The Dirt. 6, The Irishman. 5, Avengers. 4, Triple Frontier. 3, Star Wars. 2, Uncut Gems. And number 1, Joker. And I think overall we did a
I
pretty
wish
good
I could
job.
say the same about your list, but I haven't seen half the movies on your
Yeah.
list. I
A
need
lot
to
of
watch
those
them.
movies, I'll say, The Highwaymen, Fractured, The Dirt, The Irishman, Triple Frontier, all those you can find on Netflix. So if you hadn't seen those movies, you need to watch them. They're all quality watches. I would say parental guidance on The Dirt. It is a little wild, but
But now we get into our. We're not doing a worst.
what could have been.
We're not doing a worst movies because we don't see shit movies. We're not critics. We don't get paid for this. It's a hobby, so we don't see horrible movies. And if we try to avoid it, but there are some movies that came out this year. Some are awful. I call them the bus.
Yeah,
I have 5.
Yeah, 5.
I have 5.
I didn't go that deep into it. Go ahead, give us a couple.
My number 5 bust, The Last.
I saw that on HBO. I hadn't watched it. I put it in my list to watch it, but I just hadn't gotten around to it.
No one would approve the script, so the director, M. Night Shyamalan, Shamhammer, or his nickname, he had to fund it himself. Good decision. He profited hundreds of millions off it, I'm sure. But there's a reason no one would approve the script, because the ending is so stupid. It is Unbreakable was great, Split was great. They come together, and you think it's gonna be alright. Just there's no logic to this movie. The ending made no sense. The ending will piss you off. That's my number 5 bust. Number 4, I'm putting Us. I love horror movies. Jordan Peele. I love Jordan Peele.
Hadn't seen it. I heard it was good.
It was another, just the dumbest logic movie of all time.
Is that the one on the cover where she takes off the mask?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone has a doppelganger themselves or something. And they try to kill you. It is so stupid. The acting was great. The direction was fine. Just the story was so dumb. You gotta have some structure for there to think. Something has to make sense. If the movie's standing up on a pile of shit, the movie's gonna be shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't great. It was very disappointing. And I don't know how it got so much good reviews and everything like that. I think it's a joke. That was my number 4. Number 3, Star Wars.
That made your bust?
It made my bust. It's not as bad as the other 2, but it had so much more expectations. It could have been so much better. It felt lazy. It felt rushed. It felt like they were just throwing something together. And I don't understand how you put it in your top 10.
Yeah, I love Star Wars, and that's why it's in my top 10.
It's better.
This is
than,
not
it's better
top 10
than
movies of the year. This is my top 10.
It's your
movies.
favorite. Okay.
Yes.
It's better than The Last Jedi, but again, that's not saying much. I thought the conclusion for Star Wars deserved to be a lot better. Too many fake out deaths. But what are you going to do? All right. Number 2 is X-Men Dark Phoenix. What a piss poor way to end the X-Men franchise for the Fox universe before they reboot it because it was sold to Disney or whatever.
She's so hot, though.
Sophie Turner?
Yes.
Number one in the world. But this was the absolute worst way. Are you a fan of X-Men at all?
No, not really. I liked it, but it was, as a child, like, it was okay.
I love all of them. Even the ones that everyone hates, the shitty ones. The X-Men Origins Wolverine, all them. I've watched them 45 times over. I love X-Men so much. This movie, I've seen it once. I'll probably never see it again. It's so trash. It could have been so much better. The actors, for what it was the first time director did this. I don't know who he knows. I don't know what they did to give him this, but it was just bland. It was bad. All right, before I get to my number 1, because I don't want to get into a rant, I'm going to let you do yours.
Okay, I just have 3. And my third one, you're probably going to be like, what the fuck? Why is this even on the list? But I loved it as a kid. And, well, I'll just get to it. My number 3 is the Aladdin movie. So, like
Never did see it.
Yeah, so it's
I never
like
saw the cartoon
real life.
Aladdin.
See, I love the cartoon Aladdin. Used to love the show, love the old movie back in the day when I was a kid.
There's a show?
Yeah, I think for sure. I'm pretty sure there was.
I don't think there was, but
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there was. Anyway, so the Aladdin movie, I hadn't watched a lot of the Disney like remakes of all these movies. I think it's just another way for them to make money.
Lion King came out this year. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either, and I loved Lion King as a kid, but I don't want to be disappointed. Is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so my girlfriend wanted to see Aladdin. We went to watch it, and I don't know. It just taking a little piece of my childhood, crumbling it up in a ball, and kicking it
Was
away.
Will Smith okay?
Yeah, he was
As the
alright.
genie? He was alright? He did it?
alright. It was just the whole movie. I just
Tough act to follow.
yeah.
Robin Williams, R.I.P.
For real. Okay, number 2. I don't know if I can put these at 1 and 2 because in my opinion they both had the potential to be great, but they both struck out in my opinion. And I would say number 2 would be Beach Bum with Matthew McConaughey. I love Matthew McConaughey. All his movies are good.
Let me look up the director for that. If that's the director I'm thinking of, you should have known it was going to be trash.
Interstellar was great. So there's no plot to this movie at all. It's literally about living in the life with this guy for about 3 or 4 months. It may not even be that long. I don't even remember. It was so bad. But anyway, so Matthew McConaughey, Zac Efron's in it, and you're just like, what the hell is going on the whole movie? Like, I wouldn't say it was bad acting. It was pointless. The whole movie was just dumb. And I thought it had potential to be great. I mean, the actors were good.
It was made by Harmony Korine. You know what else he directed?
What?
One of the dumbest movies ever made, Spring Breakers.
Well, that makes sense because it's a movie exactly like that with Matthew.
No plot's just a music video.
So I saw
girls on a beach.
Yeah, I saw the ad to this movie. I'm like, holy shit, Matthew McConaughey, Miami. This dude is a beach bum, just an alcoholic. Like, this is gonna be fucking great. He's gonna freaking knock this out of the park. It's gonna be a great movie. Zac Efron's in it. He's an underrated actor in my opinion.
Very good.
I thought it was gonna be great. It had the potential to be great. There's no story. It's like
that's the problem.
The
A lot of these
plot,
movies.
you're like, okay, all right, it's cool, but what the hell is the point? And then my number 1, I would say, for biggest bust of the year, Ad Astra with Brad Pitt.
I had never even heard of this movie until you were talking about it. I didn't see one ad. Didn't know Brad Pitt was in it.
You watched it?
I didn't watch it. I never heard of it until you mentioned it.
So I think it was a pretty big hit in the movie theater. But anyway, I mean, what kind of movie isn't big with Brad Pitt in it? And I thought it was another Interstellar on my hands. I loved Interstellar, and I thought that's what this was about to be. This dude, it's not bad acting. It's just so long, and it's so boring, and you're just like, is this ever gonna end? And he's just basically searching for his dad the whole time, and he finally finds his dad, and then I don't know. It was a huge bust for me. It could have been great, I feel like, and I don't know if it was a director, I don't know if it was a storyline, but it had a lot of potential, and they fumbled the bag, and now it's on my bust list.
I want to look up the box office for that because if a movie that has Brad Pitt in it and I've never heard of it, I'm a pretty in-depth film fan.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it had to be. It made $127 million. I've got to figure out what the budget is.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say it probably didn't make that much money because it wasn't that good. Like, no one was talking about it. That's probably why you didn't hear about it. It was overrated as hell.
The budget was 80 to 100 million. It made 127.
Yeah.
Huge bomb.
Yeah.
They want to make at least 80 million on their opening weekend. They made 127 altogether. It was a huge bomb.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They didn't market it because they didn't believe in it.
Well, the commercial, you kind of like, holy shit, this is Brad Pitt's Interstellar here. And you're like, this could be good. I drove my girlfriend. At the end of it, she was like, so you liked it? And I was like, I don't know. I can't tell you how I feel about it.
Was it Interstellar style, like going crazy at the end, like weird?
No.
Or just straight up forward astronaut space movie?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't like Gravity or anything like that. I mean, it had like the Interstellar vibe to it, but it was just, I don't know. It's just so. There's really not a good way to explain it. It was just a bust, in my opinion. And as you see the numbers there, or hear the numbers, you can tell that America thought it was a bust too. And so go ahead with your rant, number 1.
Number 1 rant, which you can't be part of because you haven't seen it. I'm sure you would rant with me. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Before he starts his rant, let me say, Quentin Tarantino is the god at movies.
He's fantastic.
I love every single one of them.
Perfect movies.
And so I will not
You
stand
can go
by
down
this
the list.
rant.
You can go down the list. I saw it with an avid Tarantino film buff too. Seth, me, we love Tarantino. Everyone does. Inglourious Bastards, top 5 movies all time. Pulp Fiction.
It is my favorite movie.
Seen it a million times. I've seen them all a million times. We both went to this movie so excited. 30 minutes in, I was like, this is what's going on? Is we sure this is Tarantino? An hour in, I was like, am I really gonna walk out of here? 2 hours in, I was like, this movie blows. 3 hours in, because it's just about that long. Third hour in, you're like, I gotta get out of here. You start you want to start scratching the chairs. You want out of the theater. It is so bad. There's not a bad actor in the movie. Storyline is fucking trash.
And it's being nominated for everything.
It's nominated for everything. Everybody loves it all. Tarantino's got this movie. I'll tell you, it sucks. They want to watch it again. Maybe I'll like it more. I can't do it. I cannot. I won't get 30 minutes into it.
I'm actually going to rent this movie tomorrow and sit down, and I hope that you're wrong.
It is
because
so bad.
I love Tarantino. He's so
It
good.
is. I thought the movie's about to be about Marilyn Manson, stuff like that. Spoiler alert, it's a movie for one scene. Okay. It's nothing to do with that. It's just about you're following Leonardo DiCaprio being a struggling actor. I guess that's a story. Every once in a while, Brad Pitt's working on a car or some shit. I don't know. Margot Robbie's apparently in the movie. She's in it for 10 minutes out of the 30,000 minutes. It's so bad. And when I tell you the ending of this movie is the most... I can watch horror movie. I can watch violence. I'm cool with violence. All right, that's fine. But there gets to a line where you're like, okay, Quentin, you gotta go to therapy, dog. Something's wrong. We're getting like snuff film territory. This is so gratuitously violent. Where I'm telling you, people in the theater were holding their stomach. They were like, there was one point. All right, spoiler for this part. I don't care if you
I don't want you to spoil it. I haven't seen it.
All right, I won't spoil it.
That's your movie.
Non-spoiler.
That's your rant.
But oh my god. Okay, I understand these people might be murderers and stuff like that. Okay, I'm not even gonna talk. It's just so freaking awful. I hate it. Number one, not a bust. Worst movie of the year.
So that kind of rounds about our list.
Quentin, what are you doing to me, dog?
Yeah, so that kind of rounds about our top 10. We gave a couple almost top 10. We gave a few bust of the year.
Bad year for Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I guess it was. The dude's still a G actor, though.
Yeah, he is great.
So we're going to bring another movie to you next week. Our next one that
we may, if depending on how this goes, top 10 of the decade? We're in 2020 now. Top 10 of the decade.
So many movies.
Would any of these you think make number one of the decade?
Number one of the decade?
Just off the top of your head?
Joker? I'd put Joker up there, dude. Joker was phenomenal.
Joker?
Yeah, so...
Wait a minute.
Steve.
Speaking of your logic. Oh, wait, Joker is your number one.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
So, basically that rounds out this episode. We're going to do another one. We're going to watch another movie. Our next one's 1917.
Which I'm assuming would be part of this list. But for us normal Americans...
it's a new year.
I'm saying it came out last year. It's going to be part of the Oscars for this year. But
it just came out today. Here.
It's going to be nominated for Best Picture this year. I'm just saying it counts when you look at it as a 2019 movie, but it doesn't come to, us Louisiana folk until afterwards. It goes to everybody else first.
Yeah, so that's what
that's why it's not on this list.
We're going to watch that today. It came out today here, and we'll bring a review to you. We'll either drive it this week or early next week, depending on how our schedule goes. But, so we'll be back better than ever. And that sums up.
Stay tuned. Subscribe.
Yeah,
Spoiled Bananas on iTunes. Not on iTunes, on YouTube.
Working on
the iTunes.
Yep, so everybody have a good one. Peace.
Happy New Year.